Attack the enemy! Victory is ours!
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back for some more high-tier Soviet tank gameplay from War Thunder. This is a battle from 15 November 2017. I had just completed the daily tank arcade assault event, and we had won, and I got the best possible reward you can get, which is a 300% RP booster. And this will show why I love them so much, 300% RP boosters, in case it wasn't obvious by the title of the video. So normally on a map like this, where it's a domination map and the team can get to one of the capture points in a linear fashion instead of a wide fashion, such as this map, where you can get to the A point, I like to have my T10 out because I can generally get there first, or at least I used to be able to get there first, and kind of set the tone for wait for everybody. Now with T64s in the battle, that's not really the case anymore. And, you know, there was always like BT5s, BT7s, RBT5s, you know, small tanks that could get there faster. But in general, most people on high tier bring only high tier. It's not really the case anymore, but at least thankfully in this particular battle, that T64 went around to the side of the capture point, and then these other guys all just blew in anyway, so it didn't really end up mattering, but just the same. I'm glad we were all able to get into the capture point, and for pretty much everybody who was making an effort to get to the capture point was able to get in, and that was an extra 300 spawn points for everyone, so a good start. So the other reason I was using my T10M is because I have a talisman on it, and the talisman combined with the 300% RP booster, combined with a premium account, combined with hopefully a victory, is the best way to get large RP payouts. And that's what I was looking for as I'm trying to finish up the research for my T64 1971 to get it myself. I do not like the sunlight effects sometimes. They're a little bit too much sometimes. So came up and went into a kind of a cautious defensive position, waiting for the enemy team to move up. They've got an advantage on the capture zones, so can't wait too long. But I'm hoping that somebody is going to get eager on the other team, preferably a Leopard, or maybe a KPZ-70, and drive up to where I can see them. You can see one of our BMP-1s had been taken out up in front of me, so now I'm really being extra cautious and looking out for that Type 74. I'm pretty sure he's going to be right up here around this building to my right. Not at the first building, not at the second building. There he is, and it didn't really matter because I got completely wiped out by bombs from Honorado 234C, so it didn't really matter. So not, unfortunately, a lot of score with the T10M, though I did at least get a capture. So that will add up to the score. And then came back into my Object 120, which of course also has a talisman on it. Now at this point, in this map, in the battle, I'm expecting to get shot as soon as I leave the spawn, because there's always somebody who goes for the spawn rather than the objectives. No matter what the tactical or strategic situation is, whether their team is ahead or whether their team is losing, there's always somebody whose goal is just to go for the spawns, so whatever. One thing that's cool about the sun, though, is the sun effects, like in the driver. I will say that is pretty neat to see in the driver view there, but apart from that, generally speaking, I do not like the overly bright sunlight at the horizon effects that you get in a lot of these battles. Anyway, I've talked about that before, so even if it's an advantage for my team, I prefer to have everybody on more or less even ground territory-wise, or at least environmental lighting effects-wise. At any rate, we've got an advantage on the capture points now, and I'm trying to get myself caught up back to the front lines of the battle here to provide some heavy gun support with the 152 on this thing. Quite a bit of our team just got thinned out there in that little sequence. So guys are getting marked, but it's very difficult to see them with the aforementioned sunlight, so I'm trying to get up someplace where I can pop out, scan for enemies, take a shot, duck back behind cover, because I'm definitely going to stand out as a target from their perspective as opposed to the other direction. So you can see an enemy getting marked up here ahead of me, and I get to a position where I should be able to pretty much see him. Can't really get a good look down with the binoculars yet. Somebody's getting marked up there, and they haven't been killed, so... There's a shot either at them or from them. Can't tell if that was dirt flying up or smoke from their firing. He gets marked again. Still hasn't been knocked out, off to my right. Now I can see fire coming from him. Trying to keep an eye over towards the B point and then move up alongside my squad mate T-64 here. There we go. Target in sight. It's a Leopard. Wait for the gun to settle. Got a pretty good shot at him here through these rocks, through the rock wall, and get a good hit into his optics, which thankfully causes enough spalling, or not spalling, but shrapnel effect, into his crew compartment to take him out. So yes, this isn't the world's most exciting video full of kills, I grant you, but you can see how well you can do with the amount of scoring I actually achieved here, and then extrapolate how well you could do if you had a large booster with, you know, a whole bunch of kills and captures. So an enemy is getting marked off to the left here, and our team is taking the C point, or the B point rather. So I'm looking for the enemy that got marked, although I'm pretty confident he was the KPZ-70 who was just destroyed in the kill feed, since our team is no longer reacting to him and is just capturing. Make it in time to capture at the B point. There's artillery coming, which I'm not a real big fan of in the Object 120, but worth the risk for the capture. And we got it. So we've got somebody firing at a target off to my left here. I'm not sure what he's shooting at, but he's marking something, so I'm going to head over and see if I can get to a position where I can see what the target is. Possibly lend my Giganto gun support to the effort. Enemy team is taking the C point. I can't really do much about that yet. There's a missile going by, so I know it's either a KPZ-70 or maybe one of the rocket panzer vehicles. Can't tell, nothing obvious here, assuming it's probably a Rocketen Jagdpanzer sitting hull down behind that hill there. And a scan with the binoculars reveals that I can't see anything, and the last thing I really want to take is a missile to the face in this thing, what with the hull break it's vulnerable to, so I decided to just back off and leave the guy back in his spawn, where he can't really help his team capture and turn the tide of ticket bleed anyway, so rather than sit on him and try to counter camp a guy who's hull down behind a hill, I elected to return back to the C point and get a capture on that, what with the large booster I have. Unfortunately, the Object 120 isn't the world's fastest vehicle. It's not slow by most comparisons. It's pretty mobile, but across this kind of terrain it's not going to get to where I needed it to get faster than T-64s are going to get there, and that is what is in capturing the C point. So as you can see, I'm going to come up just a bit short on recapturing the C point, which is too bad.
Another zone captured, we have the advantage.
But while I was here, I thought, okay, first of all, let's worry about what's firing those missiles. Now I can see somebody firing machine guns there. Can't exactly tell what he is. Get a good look in the binocular view, realize it's a Rocketen Jagdpanzer, and get a real good line up into him. And take his crew out with a big ol' 152 AP FSDS for the second kill of the battle with the Object 120. So that contributes nicely to the score with the 300% booster. And then somebody gets marked behind us, who is presumably the person who decapped the C point originally. So, reverse, turn about, and head back over to the C point, try to find who this guy is over here, who's still alive because they're dropping smoke, and then see if I can't take them out, and might as well get some more ammo while I'm at the C point anyway. I can see the guy getting marked in a couple different places. I'm not exactly sure what he is. And right as I finally get a view on him, the T-64 from behind me gets a shot into the side of his turret and takes him out. Unfortunately, just before I would have been able to actually make out the turret of the KPZ-70 behind all the trees and brush that he was hiding behind. So close. The extra capture here and that kill or even an assist there would have even extended my research gains even further. However, somebody is taking the B point back, and it's probably that Leopard having just destroyed our M22 who was up to the front. So I'll follow the T-64 back to the B point, or I'll pass the T-64 who stops, and I'll head to the B point. Either way, I'm heading for the B point. And thinking to myself, I don't know about the ticket bleed here, it's pretty close. So I'm coming up, slowing to a stop here, and waiting for whoever has just captured the B point to reveal themselves so I can take them out. And the MiG-15 takes out the guy, I'm pretty sure, who was capturing the B point. So now I'm going to roll on into the B point myself, hoping and assuming that the Rocket Hot who was just killed up there, or the Rocket Jagdpanzer II rather, not a Hot, was the guy, and the only guy, at the B point. Now I'm looking up at the ticket bleed here and thinking to myself, that's it, the ticket bleed is going to happen faster than the capture is going to happen, especially if I'm alone. So I'm pretty much figuring that's the end of my scoring here, and it's just going to come down to a race between can I cap solo faster than the tickets are going to bleed out. Especially now that I sped up the ticket bleed by taking away their only capture point. And right about now I'm thinking, nope, this is not a race I'm going to win, but oh well. Still, it wasn't the greatest scoring battle that I could have possibly had, but I was happy enough with what I had. We were certainly going to win, which gives you 120% research points boost. And then suddenly the tickets slowed down a little bit, and I thought, oh my god, I'm going to get it, and I got it. So, third capture just at the end of the battle. To go along with 2 kills and a pair of tanks with talismans on them. And a victory, and a premium account, and a large 300% booster. Pretty good. Now the reason I was mostly talking about the 300% booster here rather than the 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900% boosters is the 300 is the largest you can reliably get routinely from the daily arcade assault events. But there you can see 16,677 vehicle research towards my T-64 1971, and that's a big chunk of research towards a 380,000 research vehicle. So that is why I love the big boosters, particularly the 300%, because you can get it very often. And that's it. I know it wasn't the most exciting battle, but this should give you an idea of why you want to play the Tank Assault or the Aerial Assault arcade events every day and get those big boosters and then use them. Take care, everybody. Thanks for stopping by and checking this one out. We'll see you next time for more War Thunder, and have a great day.